Hello, welcome to a God is Geek video chat. Today we're going to talk about Darksiders 3, and joining me is a man who's been playing it, Mr. Gary Bailey. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you.
So Darksiders 3, it's been a long time coming.
Very long.
Are fans of the series going to enjoy this one, do you think?
Yeah, I think they will.
No question.
Yeah,
no?
It's still a Darksiders game, you know, like, even though they've changed like kind of the format again, but they do that. They seem to be doing that with every game, and that's kind of what I like about it.
So how does it differ mainly from Darksiders 2, shall we say?
Well, this is basically a Souls game, which I mean, I didn't quite work it out straight away because I was just playing it, you know, as you'd expect, and then I died, went back to the last Fulgrim location, and then when I got back to where I died, there was a little thing floating around which had my souls in it. And it is literally souls because you've always collected souls and stuff when killing enemies in Darksiders. But yeah, it's quite a bizarre experience when I realised it. The only the only downside is, whereas like beforehand, well, or rather in Dark Souls, when you get to a bonfire, it resets your health flasks. Yeah. But it doesn't do that when you find a new Fulgrim location in this. You you either have to earn them back via, you can get your upgrades for your weapons, and one of them can earn back health, like from kills. It's not guaranteed, but now and again it'll happen, and it'll give you an extra flask. Which is good, but the downside is, you know, if you haven't either you haven't got that upgrade, or you just don't have the chance before getting to a boss, you're kind of just having to resign yourself to dying and then trying it again in a minute with all your flasks back. It's a bit of a shame, but it's not a game breaker.
No, I mean, the whole Souls-like, the one that everyone loves to hear. Are the series kind of, because it's always been known for like the fast-paced kind of action and all that. Does it still feel like a Darksiders game, or is it kind of tried something completely different? Say like Assassin's Creed Origins changed completely. Has it changed completely, or are there still like those elements of the combat there?
It's still, I mean, the combat is still kind of Darksiders, but yeah, there's, in a way, I suppose it's a bit Bloodborne kind of thing, in that dodging is quite a big part of it. But rather than like parrying and stuff like that, like you do in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, it comes down to your dodge timing. If you dodge at the precise moment, it kind of slows down time for a second and gives you the option to do like a counter attack.
Okay, that's cool. And
that depends on the weapon you've got as well, because you've got hollows which you unlock periodically through the game. I mean, they, besides giving you new attacks, they also allow you to do different things like traversing to new areas and things like that. Yeah. Which has always been a Darksiders thing anyway.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, they give you an extra weapon as well, and you can switch between, well, you get up to 4 of them. You can switch between them on the fly. So, you know, depending on the situation, which, I don't know, if it's a boss or something, if you want a certain weapon to counter it, it's great because you can just keep switching from one to the other. Like, I mean, some of them are quite fast, and then there's one, the Force Hollow, which is basically a massive hammer. So obviously it's slower, but it does a lot of damage. Yeah. I found myself using that quite a lot, actually, once I'd got it.
Is there a large kind of weapon selection throughout the game?
There's the 5, essentially. You've got your main weapon, like the whip, and then you've got each of the hollows. But you can kind of combo them, combine them together to make like big combos. So you can switch between, you know, you could be using your whip, then hit them with the hammer, for example, then you can flick to like the ice one, hit them with that. You know, and you can, I mean, it's not, you can't just do never-ending combos, because obviously sometimes they'll just say no and hit you in the face, but it works very well for the majority. Yeah,
and are the area's quite large? There's like a lot of room to traverse. Yeah, quite linear.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like going back to the first Dark Souls if we're going to compare it to a Souls game normal, because it's got that big interconnected universe kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Or world, not universe. It's not that big. But yeah, so rather than like, say, Darksiders 2 was like a really big open world. There was quite a lot of traversal. This is kind of a bit smaller, but there's, because of the way it's all connected, you can even unlock shortcuts and things like that. Which is a definite plus point if you've got like a boss run, you know. Because some of the boss runs can be quite harsh if you're not prepared.
And what are the bosses like?
They're really good, actually. I'd say they're some of the best in the series.
Oh wow!
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, they're all the 7 sins, so they're all based on a sin.
Okay.
And so you've got ones which, what is it? Is it avarice? That it kind of reminded me of, you know, the loot goblins in Diablo 3. Yes. Run around with it. It kind of looks like a massive one of them. It's really cool when you fight him. But it's like they all have different stages and stuff like that as well. Like his is quite a good one because he's bouncing around pillars and then he'll like drop down on you and you've got to kind of work your way around it. But there's also, without spoiling, there's kind of bigger ones which kind of feel a bit more Darksiders like. Yeah. You know, so it all ties in nicely. It doesn't feel like, it feels like a nice departure but not too far, so it's still a Darksiders game, just they've tried something new. It's not going to be to everyone's taste because obviously not everyone likes the Souls style mechanics, but with it having a difficulty setting, it might at least give people a bit more of a chance.
Oh, that's good. There's a good the options there, I guess, like with the difficulty.
I mean, I played it on like the balanced difficulty, which is kind of like the normal difficulty, and I had no problems. It's like I died a few times. A couple of the bosses give me quite a kicking, but it was never to the point where I was like, I can't do this. You know, it was always like, all right, I've got a bit further. Like, oh, I've got it down to half health that time. Oh, that's fine. You know, or there was one where, in fact, it was the last boss. I'd got it down to a millimetre of health when it killed me. And I was like, oh, come on. But yeah, I mean, a couple of attempts later, I managed to beat it. But it always has that one more go factor, which I really enjoyed about it. It's the sign of good boss design, I think, when you want to keep trying even though you're getting your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good. My kind of last thing I want to know is because it's been such a while since we've had a Darksiders game, is this a good entry point for people that have never played them before, or is there like a video at the start that shows you like the events of the past 2 games, anything like that?
I mean, the intro kind of gives a little brief overview of what you need to know essentially. The good thing, I think, how this one works as a good starting point is it's set before the first game. So like, whereas the first game was all about war, he's sent to Earth to prove his innocence because he's accused of starting off the apocalypse early. In this game, you start off with Fury in front of the Charred Council, and War is there in chains. So it's kind of it's before he's sent back, and the entire game is set sort of just before that happened. Well, I say just before. I think it's actually like a couple of centuries before he's sent back. Because Earth's is very destroyed, but it's nowhere near the level it was in the other 2 games. Like, I mean, you only see Earth briefly in 2, I remember, but it was battered, basically. But yeah, so there are still humans around. One of the kind of side quests is saving humans, which Fury doesn't want to do because she hates humans, which I find quite funny. But it was, I mean, she's a very different character to the others, because the others were very serious. There was a bit of snark here and there, but most of it came in the form of like the Watcher in the first game and stuff like that. Whereas this one, there is a Watcher, but most of the snark is aimed at the Watcher from Fury, and it's an interesting way of doing it. But I wasn't too keen on her at first. I was like, I'm not so sure. But as like once I got a couple of hours in, I really started to connect with her, because you know we all hate humans from time to time, so it's easy
relatable.
To find that point that you both agree.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm sure if you played the previous games, you'll enjoy this one. Gary, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And you can go and check out Gary's review on godsgeek.com. Thanks for watching the video, everyone, and take care. Bye bye.